Good evening, good evening, good evening, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Keys Boxing Gym Talk. I'm your host, K-Rock216, man. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight, man. It's been a few days since I dropped a video, man. So, like I always say, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button, man. Very important. Today we're going to talk about something that's happened, according to the boxing world. It's a very, very big fight, very big announcement. I got mixed emotions about it. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua have signed to fight each other for the fourth quarter of 2026. But first, Anthony Joshua must get through his tune-up against an unknown heavyweight named Christian Pringa. I know very little about Pringa. I'm assuming that the rest of the world knows very little about Pringa. All I know, I've seen that his record is 20 wins, 1 loss, with all of his wins coming by way of knockout. Those knockouts have come against, I want to say, cab drivers and club fighters, obviously. If you look at the records and stuff like that, the fighters that he knocked out, you would agree with me, too. I expect Anthony Joshua to get through this with flying colors. He's just got to watch his chin and not get too aggressive. He fights very cautious now. He made a mistake doing that against Daniel Dubois, going offensive-minded, and he got knocked out and he paid the price. And I think that he's going to learn from that, and he's going to win that fight. And then we're going to see the fight that the world has been wanting to see. For the hardcore boxing fans and the passionate boxing fans like myself, 20% of me it can't wait to see this fight. The other 80% of me feels like this fight should have happened years ago when, they were both undefeated or when they both had titles. I know that they were talking about fighting each other. I want to say the year 2019, but I think that was the year that we had one of the biggest upsets in heavyweight history when Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight Jarrell Miller. And by the way, good win for Jarrell Miller when he fought Peru this Saturday. He won, hard-fought decision, but he got replaced because of the PED use and whatever. So Andy Ruiz stepped in and he shocked the world, and that messed up the fight. I ain't gonna say it messed up the fight, man, but it messed up the anticipation. Coach could have had 2 heavyweights, and that could have been like the biggest fight in UK history. I think it's still going to be one of the biggest fights in UK history, but it just takes a lot of steam off because both of them are not in their primes anymore. Anthony Joshua, we know he's not in his prime anymore. Tyson Fury looked terrible against McMurdo like 2 weeks ago. Looked terrible. I don't know what he was doing. At times, I think it was the 6th or 7th round when he had him hurt. He had him in the corner, and he just sat there and just let him recoup and get his his functioning back. So I think this fight was fixed or something like that. But I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like Tyson Fury could have got that man out of there, but he chose not to. I'm going to go with Tyson Fury to win by unanimous decision. But if you are going to go with Anthony Joshua, I understand why. But like I said, you're only as good as your last fight. Anthony Joshua, his last fight was against Jake Paul, a YouTuber with no amateur experience who just started training just for the fuck of it and said he wanted the box or whatever. I'm not complaining about that victory because everybody, including myself, want to see Jake Paul get defeated. But we have to understand, like I said, Jake Paul is a YouTuber. This means nothing. That's why he needs another tune-up, because he did take a vicious knockout loss to Daniel Dubois about a year and a half ago. We need to see what he's going to do. How does he feel about his mental after he lost both his strength and his conditioning coach? And, that's probably still heavy on his heart, heavy on his brain. We just have to see how he feels when he gets in there into that ring after that, because stuff like that, seeing death like that, come from me from my personal experience too. Losing someone close to me and seeing them in the hospital dead and stuff like that. Sometimes you're never the same again mentally. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to wait and see. I wish this fight would have happened sooner. It was supposed to happen around I know the time when they verbally agreed or signed. It was the year that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fought for the 3rd time. That was when Tyson Fury was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua. But Deontay Wilder interjected, though, and he threatened to take legal action because he was obligated. You know, he was guaranteed a rematch if he lost or whatever. So that's why that fight has taken place. And like I said, since that time, you know what I'm saying, both of them are faded. Well, according to Tyson Fury's father, Peter Fury, his last fight with Deontay Wilder was the last time he was in his prime. I don't know if he's just making up an excuse because he lost against the great Usyk. They both lost against the great Usyk. So we just got to see what's going to happen. I'm still leaning towards Tyson Fury, but, you know, to Anthony Joshua's credit, he did recruit somebody that defeated him twice, and that is one of the all-time greats in Alexander Usyk. So we can see what happens. This is going to be a good fight, I think. You know, I know Tyson Fury is going to stick and move. One thing about Anthony Joshua, he's no Deontay Wilder. So Tyson Fury is not going to be able to fight him and try to back him up because we know Deontay Wilder cannot fight going backwards. Tyson Fury exposed that. He's not going to be able to do that with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua knows how to fight off the back foot and throw some punches and knows how to counter and stuff like that. Like I said, it's going to be the size and the footwork and the jab that's going to be in the play that's going to frustrate the hell out of Anthony Joshua. And I think that he takes this, Tyson Fury takes this by unanimous decision. A competitive but unanimous decision, though, man. So, like I said, man, late 2026, that's if, you know, Anthony Joshua doesn't get beaten up really bad or bruised up or cut or some stitches or something like that, require surgery after he fights Christian Pringa in July 25th, man. So we just got to see what happens. We got to see what happens. We got to see what happens, man. But I really, really, really wish this fight would have happened a long time ago. A lot of fights I wish would have happened a long time ago, you know. And that's why Turki Al-Sheikh has stepped in now, because he's putting money on the table, giving them offers that they can't refuse. Turki Al-Sheikh would have been around 2019, 2020, all of these fights would have happened. Like, you know how the Four Kings back in the 80s with the Rands, the Hearns, the Haglers, you know, they all fought each other and stuff like that. That's what Turki Al-Sheikh was trying to bring back to the game. But he came a little too late, man. So now we have to get this fight with these two, or they're faded, you know. But I will be tuning in, though. So, and I hope you guys are tuning in, too. And that is my time, man. I know I always say this, and I never do drop another video, but I do have some more stuff that I do want to talk about and discuss and stuff like that, man. So don't forget, you guys forget to like, subscribe, man. And I'll get back with you guys, man. You have a good night.